what the God!
The Weber County Sheriff's Office releases body camera footage of a deadly officer-involved shooting.
Flooding on Center Street. A water main break forces the road to close.
That's where there's money in oil.
Governor Cox wants President Biden to take back an executive order cracking down on oil and gas leasing. Welcome to Newsline. It's Wednesday, February 24th. I'm Harley Huntsaker.
And I'm Ashley Chase. Governor Spencer Cox wants President Biden to withdraw an executive order that bans any new leasing for oil and gas on federal public lands.
Newsline reporter Amy Griffin tells us why there's more to Cox's letter than meets the eye. Amy?
Governor Cox co-wrote the letter to the president along with 16 other GOP senators. The letter emphasizes protecting American jobs in the energy sector. Cox and the other Republican governors also claim Biden's order hurts the environment, shifting the energy development to countries with less stringent emission regulations. For Governor Cox, there may be more than just environmental concerns at play. Important to note are some of the funds which have been donated to Governor Cox's re-election campaign just this last month, of which roughly $35,000 can directly tied to oil.
Of all of these different layers.
While there's nothing illegal about campaign donations, it's important to take note of who buys the governor's attention. That's where there's money in oil. Such funding is especially concerning to environmental activists who say Biden's order is a step in the right direction and want him to leave it in place.
It is a huge step into figuring out how we can, as Americans, come together to regulate our own energy from a sustainable source.
Regardless of Cox's motives, some hope for a better compromise between environmental concerns and the economy.
There are certain federal lands, of course, we don't want to produce and drill in. We need to work more towards a common energy policy that has both sides represented instead of just banning all activity on all federal lands.
Cox's office did not respond to a request for comment on the campaign funding. The White House has yet to issue a response to the governor's letter, but the governors hope that it will bring a constructive dialogue. In Provo, I'm Amy Griffin reporting for Newsline.
Thanks, Amy.
The Weber County Attorney's Office releases body camera video of a deadly officer-involved shooting in early February.
All you had to do is drop the gun!
On February 5th, Ogden police received a call from a woman saying she had been sexually assaulted and robbed at gunpoint. The suspect, later identified as 28-year-old Dino Rao Morales, allegedly stole her car. Police found Morales in the bed of a pickup truck parked inside a carport behind a home.
Show me your hands! Show me your hands!
Body camera footage shows an officer locating Morales and asking him to show his hands. You can see Morales holding a handgun. Morales ignored the officer's request multiple times and was shot by police. The Weber County attorney says Morales had a fully loaded Ruger .380 gun. Morales is a convicted felon and a firearms restricted person. The Weber County Force Investigation Team is continuing to investigate the incident.
A woman is dead and 2 others are recovering from injuries after a snowmobile accident that took place outside of Bryan Head. The accident happened yesterday around 4:00 p.m. near Navajo Ridge. Bryan Head Town Marshals and an off-duty Los Angeles police officer responded to the scene and administered CPR. One woman could not be revived. A man was transported to Cedar City Hospital in critical but stable condition. Another woman was treated and released. Bryan Head Marshals remind the public to exercise safety and caution when participating in outdoor winter recreation.
Governor Cox believes that Utah will be maskless by July 4th, if not sooner. In a tweet yesterday afternoon, Cox stated that he is baffled by the pessimism coming from D.C. regarding COVID-19. In a follow-up tweet, he shared a graph highlighting how the COVID death count is dramatically decreasing as the percent of the population vaccinated increases. With the growing number of vaccines, Cox says he strongly believes that we will be able to gather in large groups without masks by July 4th.
A new bill introduced in the Utah State Legislature could block employers from mandating vaccines or any other healthcare procedures on their employees. The state's largest business organization, the Salt Lake Chamber, says it has concerns about the bill and is reviewing it. The bill does exclude hospitals, health agencies, and healthcare companies that have long mandated vaccines for their employees. Utah legislative leaders announced a nearly $100 million package of tax relief bills. The relief bills involve families with children, veterans, and older residents receiving Social Security. One of the bills, sponsored by Republican State Representative Walt Brooks, would use about $18.3 million to eliminate income tax on some Social Security income. Utah is one of a handful of states that still taxes Social Security income.
Center Street in Provo is now open to traffic after a shutdown due to a water main break. The break occurred Tuesday evening at 300 East Center Street. Center Street was closed between 1st East and 300 East while crews worked to control the leak. After managing the break, Center Street is now back to its 15-mile-per-hour crawl.
The Salt Lake City School Board voted unanimously to appoint Timothy Gadsden as the incoming superintendent. He is the first black superintendent in not just Salt Lake County, but Utah history. Salt Lake County District is the most racially diverse in Utah, and their school board reflects that, as it is made up of a majority of people of color. Gadsden is currently the associate superintendent of high schools with Anoka Hennepin Schools in Minnesota. He will begin his new job on July 1st with a 2-year contract.
A team of BYU students created a matchmaking service where students get matched with what they call your perfect match. NewsLine reporter Megan Pickett explains where this survey came from and how it works.
In and around Provo, BYU students who want to find love took a survey online and an algorithm matched them based on their similar answers. Students also picked the 5 answers most important to them, and the algorithm used that to match students. This is the Matchmaker's Instagram page where they advertise their services. Many students got excited about the prospect of matching with someone just like them.
My first impressions after hearing that there's a Provo matchmaker is that it would be kind of fun.
At first, only BYU students could take the survey, but during the first week of February, they opened the survey to BYU and UVU students. They did this so that students in Provo and Orem could receive matches leading up to Valentine's Day. They also added a height option for women. A few days after the survey opened, the matchmaker team sent an email to all who participated saying that some data had been mixed up and the surveys might not reflect the students' original answers. It gave a place to re-enter answers, but many students did not fill out the new survey.
But they have said they've had like space rats or something like messing up their answers, and I was too lazy to go back and fix it.
Students have received 3 of 4 of their matches so far, and students have mixed reviews about how this algorithm works.
I mean, I was optimistic, and it has not lived up to that at all.
I found his social media, and he's like an ultra Trump supporter, I was surprised that I got that match based on my answers.
Students will receive their next match on February 11th, finishing off this round of Provo's matchmaking. It will be interesting to see if Matchmaker Provo will continue to put out surveys and send matches to the singles in Provo.
Brigham Young University faces another year of virtual commencement ceremonies. Academic Vice President Shane Reese says that the decision was not made lightly, but that they hope to recognize their outstanding students despite restrictions. The commencement ceremony will be held on April 22nd. It will be broadcast on BYU TV, BYU Radio, Classical 89, and BYUtv.org.
Utah is the best state for students this year. A recent study by an international reviewer of U.S. colleges found Utah to have the lowest tuition, board, and highest happiness rate. The second and third place contenders are California and Texas, who boast a high number of ranking schools, but fell short in other categories. Meanwhile, the lowest ranked state, Vermont, suffers from high tuition with a significantly low happiness rate.
Utah Jazz players are heading to Atlanta for the All-Star Game of 2021.
It didn't look like it. There was Donovan Mitchell flies to the rim and smashes it.
Center Rudy Gobert and shooting guard Donovan Mitchell will be the All-Star Game reserves. Jazz point guard Mike Conley, who many thought would play with his teammates, will miss out due to a previous injury. Jazz head coach Quinn Snyder will accompany his players and coach the Western Conference for the March 17th game.
Johnson & Johnson's single-dose vaccine could be available soon.
We're prepared to ship immediately upon emergency use authorization.
Johnson & Johnson's single-dose vaccine is being reviewed by the FDA. Find out when the vaccine could be cleared for distribution.
A vicious dump truck accident caught on camera. We'll show you more of the startling video and tell you where it happened.
A dog falls in an iced-over pool, and it's all caught on security cameras. We'll show you what happened after the pooch went into the frozen water. Lawyers say a man died after police officers kneeled on the back of his neck for nearly 5 minutes. The sister of Navy vet Angelo Quinto called police because she was afraid Quinto was going to hurt their mother. According to the attorney, the officers took him to the ground, with one pressing his knee to the back of Quinto's neck. He fell unconscious, was hospitalized, and pronounced dead 3 days later. Police didn't respond to requests for comment and haven't issued a press release on the incident. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration says Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine has met its requirements for emergency use authorization. According to the FDA, Johnson & Johnson's vaccine is about 70% effective at protecting against severe COVID-19 infection. The shot only requires 1 dose. The FDA will meet on Friday and make a recommendation on the vaccine's rollout.
Take a look at this scary moment caught on dashcam video in Washington State. A dump truck is captured heading straight into a retaining wall on Interstate 405. The crash resulted in numerous accidents with other cars. Debris was spilled over the roadway and 100 gallons of diesel fuel was spilled. 2 people suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Authorities are studying the video to try to figure out what led to the crash. An owner jumped into her frozen backyard pool after her dog fell in. Said the dog accidentally took a dive in an ice-covered swimming pool. Owner Jenny Tatum ran to the rescue, breaking through 2-inch thick ice. Tatum pulled the barely conscious dog out of the pool and rushed him to a veterinarian. Sid has completely recovered and is now avoiding pools at all costs.
2 Utah siblings compete on American Idol.
And I can't help but say, I don't wanna be alone.
Find out if the brother and sister duo got a golden ticket to move on to the next round.
Traffic closure to the AOS now. Person's trapped. Sheriff on scene.
Tiger Woods was involved in a serious rollover crash in California. Find out how the road contributed to the accident.
Sunny, snowy, cloudy with the chance of meatballs. What to expect hump day and into the weekend coming up.
You know there's a light that glows by the front door. Don't forget the keys under the mat. When childhood stars shine, always stay humble and kind. Don't expect a free ride from no one. Don't hold a grudge or a chip, and here's why. Bitterness keeps you from flying. Always stay humble and kind. Hold the door, say please, say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, don't lie. I know you got mountains to climb, but always stay humble and kind. When the dreams you're dreaming come to you, when the work you put in is realized, let yourself feel the pride, but always stay humble and kind. Yeah.
The former head of the U.S. Capitol Police says the force's leadership didn't see an FBI report the day before the Capitol breach that warned of violent war. Jessica Schneider has more on that and other developments from the first congressional hearing on the breach.
Tonight, new revelations from Capitol Police that an FBI report warning of a violent war at the Capitol on January 6th was relayed to Capitol Police headquarters 1 day before the violent insurrection, but it was never seen by the department's leadership.
How can you not get that vital intelligence on the eve of what's going to be in a major event?
I know that's something that's going to be looked at. I think that information would have been helpful to be aware of.
The Washington Post reported last month that the FBI bulletin quoted individuals saying, "Be ready to fight. Go there ready for war. We get our president or we die." But Stephen Sund, who stepped down as Capitol Police Chief days after the insurrection, said he was only made aware of the report yesterday. Sund stressed it was just raw intelligence, but D.C.'s acting police chief said more should have been done to alert officials at the Capitol.
I would certainly think that something as violent as an insurrection in the Capitol would warrant, a phone call or something.
Sund said even the intelligence that was relayed did not forecast the destruction that followed.
None of the intelligence we received predicted what actually occurred. We properly planned for a mass demonstration with possible violence. What we got was a military-style coordinated assault on my officers and a violent takeover of the Capitol building.
All of the officials testifying agreed the groups that converged on the Capitol were in fact coordinated.
Do you agree that there is now clear evidence that supports the conclusion that the January 6th insurrection was planned and it was a coordinated attack on the U.S. Capitol?
Yes.
Thanks, Jessica. It was also revealed that most of the Capitol police officers were not equipped with riot gear or the right type of training to respond to the violence they faced. There will be another hearing on the breach next week with the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, and the National Guard.
Fans are buzzing all over social media about Tiger Woods' car crash yesterday. Emily Roberts-Jones gives us the latest updates and tells us how everyone's reacting.
By now, you've surely heard about golf champion Tiger Woods' terrifying car accident in Southern California. A man known for his comebacks after injury is now recovering from surgery. Emergency responders pulled him out of this flipped car yesterday morning. He had a compound fracture in one leg and a shattered ankle. The road is notorious for crashes because of its S-shaped curve, and it will send you off the road if you're speeding, which is what is suspected to be the cause of Tiger's crash. I have personally been on this road, and I witnessed a Jeep flip over on this exact curve. On Instagram, Rue Andro shared this image stating, "Finding out that Tiger Woods rolled his car in my neighborhood. I had an overwhelming sense of ickiness." Forbes Twitter tweeted this promotion for the car that they believe saved Tiger from a fatal crash. Twitter user @JuniorNelson Jr. responded, "So this was all a car ad the whole time?" Some users are angry at the amount of coverage this story is getting and comparing it to the coverage of the Capitol riots and COVID vaccines. Sarah Wood said, "I know more about Tiger Woods' accident than where to find a vaccine for my parents." To which Michelle Jabby responded, "I know what color underwear Tiger was wearing, but no idea why the Pentagon denied sending in the National Guard." Some fans are sticking up for him. Skip Bayless tweeted, "Tiger Woods, a golfer, has suffered more injuries to more body parts than most NFL players I've known. If anyone can come back from today's horrible leg/ankle injuries and win again, it is Tiger Woods." This is a sand tribute at St. Andrews Golf Course for the one true GOAT, or greatest of all time, according to Twitter user TWFan19. Remember folks, wear your seatbelt, keep off your phone, drive the speed limit, and stay safe out there.
2 Utah siblings receive a golden ticket and will compete in the next round of American Idol.
I don't wanna be alone, 'cause it doesn't feel like home.
Ammon and Leahona Olayan had an interesting start because the pandemic changed the preliminary auditions to take place over Zoom instead of in person. This allowed the auditions to reach all 50 states for the first time in show history.
When I was 11, my parents decided to grab 2 suitcases, leave everything, and move into a tent. They did it to get closer to our Hawaiian heritage.
The siblings moved to Hawaii for a year and a half where they discovered their passion for songwriting and performing. For their first performance in front of the judges, they sang an original composition. All 3 judges gave both of the siblings a yes. The next round starts on March 21st.
These students usually build sculptures in winter, but this year they stepped up their game with a truly epic snow fort. They designed the snow fort themselves, complete with ice, tables, and chairs. For 4 days, students took turns filling and hauling toboggans with snow, while other students piled the snow higher and higher. The fort ended up 36 feet long and more than 7 feet high. One of the mothers says it's been a welcome distraction for her kids, and it gives them something to look forward to. Now here in Provo and Utah, we're having this storm kind of sitting over Salt Lake and moving south down over Provo. We'll be seeing some light flurries, not too much snow, not much sticking on the ground, but we'll see a couple of inches up in the mountains. We'll see how that's affecting our weather across the state. Logan, 31 and 11 degrees. Salt Lake and Provo, pretty similar, 36-18, 39-17. Wendover, 39 and 21. Richfield, 35-18. Down into St. George, 65 and 33 degrees. for our forecast down in St. George, you guys are looking lovely and warm, sunny all throughout the week. 56, 61, high 60 degrees this week, and staying nice and warm, only dropping down to 32 degrees this week for the low. Up in northern Utah, we're seeing that cloudiness sitting overhead. We'll see a little bit of snow on Saturday, and then the clouds go away into a beautiful Sunday and Monday, nice sunny skies. We're seeing 39 degrees today, 40 into the weekend, and that's all we've got to look forward to. Everyone, enjoy your weekend.
The sights and sound of Mars are revealed.
We'll take you to Mars.
Safely on the surface of Mars.
We'll take you to Mars, where a teeny tiny with big ambition begins its mission.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat. If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world? You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere, and just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
A historic 2-year mission kicks off with an amazing look at and first-time listen to the surface of Mars.
Jeremy Roth reports on the newest mission to Mars.
Get ready to savor the sights and sounds of the Red Planet. This is the first footage from the Perseverance, NASA's newly landed rover on Mars. Multiple cameras on board captured the chute deploying and the heat shield dropping before the rover touched down in a cloud of red Martian dust to thunderous cheers from Mission Control.
Perseverance safely on the surface of Mars.
It really was a home run. I mean, the thing had traveled 131 million miles and touched down just a mere 16 feet from the intended landing spot. That's pretty good. Not only did Perseverance start sending back incredible images, it also fed back the very first recording of natural sound on another planet. Yeah, mostly wind. But still pretty darn cool. Perseverance now settles in for a 2-year mission looking for evidence of ancient life on Mars.
That is so cool. I worry though that the rover gets lonely up there in space. Hopefully she feels our support.
I know, it makes me a little sad too, but I love how they nicknamed it Percy. I just think it's so adorable. But for those who are interested, the rover will continue its mission for the next 2 years, gathering data for astrobiology and searching for signs of ancient microbial life.
Do you think a puppy with 6 legs would run faster than one with 4?
I don't know, but there's now a puppy who might be able to answer that question. Take a look. An Oklahoma veterinarian hospital welcomes a tiny mutant miracle named Skipper. Different from most puppies, she has 6 legs, 2 tails, 2 pelvic regions, and 2 reproductive systems. The vet hospital says that while she may need some physical therapy to help with mobility as she grows, she's currently strong and healthy. She's the longest living dog with these conditions.
Thanks for joining us today for NewsLine.
For more information on our stories or to share them with your friends, check out our website and have a great day.